Hello everyone, we've got some fresh movie news. In today's episode, Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey, has received an adult age rating. The Mandalorian and Grogu keeps falling at the box office. Could this be another Star Wars flop? Mark Wahlberg plays real-life mobster Gregory Scarpa Sr. in the crime drama By Any Means. And we also have updates on Yellowstone, Scary Movie 6, Devil May Cry, The Batman 2, Gladiator, and the next Mad Max movie. Let's start with Christopher Nolan. His new film, The Odyssey, has received an adult age rating. In other words, children will not be allowed to watch this movie. At the same time, the film's budget is reportedly between $200 and $250 million. But an adult rating does not automatically mean the film will fail at the box office. Nolan's Oppenheimer also had an adult age rating, and it still earned $975 million worldwide. A similar box office result would be enough for The Odyssey to break even and bring profit to the studio. Most likely, Nolan will, as usual, take 15 to 20% of the revenue. It is important to understand that he does not receive money from the entire box office gross, but only from the portion that goes to the studio. Usually, the director works with what is known as first dollar gross. But there are different variations of such deals. For example, when the percentage increases after certain box office milestones are reached. So, the studio really needs this movie to make as much money as possible. Otherwise, it could end up in a situation similar to The Third Mission. Impossible film with Tom Cruise, when the studio did not earn as much as it expected. Now let's move on to television. The Yellowstone spin-off, titled Dutton Ranch, has delivered the best viewership result in the history of Paramount+. During its first 7 days, Dutton Ranch was watched 13 million times. Before that, the strongest results belonged to the first season of Mobland and the second season of Landman. Both had around 9 million views in 1 week. And that is not even the full audience for Dutton Ranch. The project was also shown on broadcast television, where another 3 million viewers were counted on the first day alone. So, once again, producer Taylor Sheridan has another major success on Paramount+. But things are looking much less optimistic for Star Wars. The Mandalorian and Grogu dropped another 60% in its third weekend of release. During that period, the film managed to earn only $26 million worldwide, $10 million in the domestic market and $16 million from the rest of the world. Right now, the movie has earned $294 million at the box office against a budget of $165 million. Maybe, if the film stops falling so sharply, it could still have a chance to pass Solo. As a reminder, Solo, a Star Wars story, earned $393 million worldwide. But at the moment, it looks like The Mandalorian and Grogu could perform even worse. However, thanks to its lower budget, the movie still will not look like the same kind of catastrophic failure as Solo. That film had a budget of around $300 million, which ballooned because of reshoots. Meanwhile, Scary Movie 6 has had an excellent start. The film earned $55 million in the domestic market and another $50 million internationally. With a budget of $30 million, it is safe to say the movie has already paid for itself. At this point, they will probably start making the sequel tomorrow. This is the best opening in the history of the entire franchise. In the United States, the movie performed roughly in line with expectations, but internationally, it did better than expected. It turned into a triumphant return for the Wayans brothers to the franchise, a franchise they were pushed out of by bad people after the release of the sequel. After the United States, the strongest results came from Mexico, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Another update. The trailer for the series Lucky has been released. The story follows a talented con artist named Lucky Armstrong, who decides to leave her criminal past behind. But after winning $1 million in the lottery, she has to figure out how to claim the prize. The problem is that if she tries to cash in the lottery ticket, she will be arrested for her past crimes. So Lucky is forced to dive back into the dangerous world she was trying so hard to leave behind. Now let's talk about the crime drama By Any Means. Mark Wahlberg plays real-life mobster Gregory Scarpa Sr. The film arrives in theaters on September 4th. The movie is directed by Elegance Bratton and written by Sasha Penn. The story is based on high-profile cases from the 1960s, when Scarpa worked with the FBI against the Ku Klux Klan. However, the film also adds some noticeable fictional elements. The real Gregory Scarpa was one of the most violent capos in New York's Colombo crime family. In the 1960s, he became an FBI informant. The most famous case connected to him was the 1964 case known as Mississippi Burning. 3 civil rights workers, Andrew Goodman, James Chaney, and Michael Schwerner, disappeared and were later found murdered. According to reports, the Bureau could not officially use physical pressure on suspects, so Scarpa was allegedly paid to extract information from a suspected Klansman, gangster style, about where the bodies had been buried. Scarpa has also been connected to the investigation into the murder of Vernon Dahmer, the head of a local NAACP chapter. Members of the Ku Klux Klan killed him because of his campaign to register black voters in Mississippi. In the film, Dahmer is played by Giancarlo Esposito. But the buddy-style friendship between Scarpa and a young black FBI agent is entirely fictional. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's character, Wayne Stryker, does not have a real-life prototype. In reality, Scarpa did not have a handler on missions like this, and at that time the FBI did not send black field agents to handle Klan cases in Mississippi. Overall, By Any Means combines real facts, a mobster working for federal agents, Klan crimes, and a desperate search for justice, with a noticeable amount of cinematic fiction. Now let's move on to anime. The anime series Devil May Cry has been renewed for a 3rd season. The animation is handled by Studio Mir. Netflix will conclude the story of demon hunter Dante with this 3rd season. The streaming service announced the renewal of the anime series, based on Capcom's cult video game franchise, and confirmed that the 3rd season will be the final one. The announcement came after the success of the 2nd season, which premiered on May 12, 2026, and quickly secured a place in Netflix's global top 10. Showrunner Adi Shankar said that the structure of the series had been planned from the very beginning and clearly refers to Dante Alighieri's classic poem. According to him, "For those who were paying attention to the episode titles, I've been showing you the structure all along. It was always Dante's Divine Comedy, just with guns and a red coat. Season 1 was Inferno, Season 2 was Purgatorio, and Season 3 will be Paradiso. These 3 seasons form the saga of the Limit of Power. From the very beginning, this saga was conceived as a movie trilogy disguised as a television series. As a reminder, the story centers on Dante, an orphan and demon hunter for hire. He does not yet realize that he plays a key role in the fate of 2 worlds, the human world and the demon world. Meanwhile, sinister forces are trying to open a portal between the 2 realities. According to Netflix statistics, both seasons spent a combined 4 weeks in the global top 10. The first season reached 21.7 million views in 2025, while the second season reached 6.4 million views in just 2 weeks after release. At the 2026 Tribeca Film Festival, Ben Stiller shared memories of working on the cult black comedy The Cable Guy, released in 1996. The film was recently presented in a 4K format. The 60-year-old director admitted that working with Jim Carrey required the entire crew to seriously adjust. According to Stiller, the idea of putting Matthew Broderick and Jim Carrey together on screen was incredibly exciting to him. He said, "Jim was a real force of nature, a bundle of energy, while Matthew knew how to ground that energy. But that combination also created certain difficulties." Stiller admitted, "Of course there was some tension. I had never worked with Jim before, and he has a very special working style. He is a real energy hurricane." Matthew Broderick, who was also present at the press conference, agreed, "Yes, that's true, but I think we handled it." Stiller added that, in the end, that same tension actually benefited the film. On screen, it fuels the growing madness of the conflict between Broderick's and Carrey's characters. As a reminder, The Cable Guy failed at the box office in 1996, but over time, it gained cult status. And now, almost 30 years later, its creators can finally talk openly about the price of that on-screen chemistry. Russell Crowe has spoken out about the Gladiator sequel, and his verdict was very harsh. Speaking at the Taormina Film Festival, the actor called Ridley Scott's film a failure and explained why. According to Crowe, the main mistake made by the creators of the second film was destroying the moral core on which the story of Maximus was built. He believes that this clear moral framework, not just spectacular battles, is what made the original film a phenomenon. Crowe said, "It's very interesting that in the second film, they destroyed that moral center. The second film barely made as much as the first one, but that was 20 years later. And if you consider how the value of the dollar has changed, they failed, because they did not understand why the first film was successful. It had a core." The original Gladiator was released in 2000, at a time when auteur-driven spectacle films were still in high demand among audiences. The film won the Oscar for Best Picture, earned Russell Crowe the Academy Award for Best Actor, and became one of the major mainstream hits of the early 2000s. Interestingly, despite the criticism, Ridley Scott is reportedly already preparing a third installment. The script is currently in development. Now for news about Mad Max. Director George Miller has begun talks with Hollywood studios about making the next film in the series. The 81-year-old filmmaker personally came to Los Angeles to present his project. According to insiders, Amazon, Universal, and Sony Pictures have shown interest in the film. Warner Brothers, however, the studio that released all previous films in the franchise, has reportedly declined. The studio's decision is being linked to the financial failure of the previous installment, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, released in 2024. Despite strong reviews from critics, the film reportedly caused Warner Brothers a loss of $120 million and became the company's second biggest financial failure of the year. In a recent interview, Miller confirmed that the script is completely finished. He also expressed hope that, if the stars align, he will still get to make the movie. The idea for the project was born back in the 1980s as a television series concept. It later turned into a video game concept, then a book, and only after that became a film script. It was also reported that after finishing the final film, George Miller intends to sell the rights to the entire Mad Max franchise at auction. So, the cult post-apocalyptic saga will most likely change owners soon. And finally, some news about the Batman 2. Colin Farrell, who played Oswald Cobblepot, also known as the Penguin, in the Batman and the series The Penguin, has shared fresh details about the long-awaited sequel. In a recent interview, the actor not only described his filming schedule but also once again praised Matt Reeves' script. According to Farrell, he is about to begin work, but his role in the Batman 2 will be fairly small. He said, "I'm going to London in about 4 or 5 weeks. I don't have a lot of work in the film, but I'll be there for about a month, 4 or 5 weeks. And as a regular viewer, I'm incredibly excited to see what happens." Speaking about the script prepared by Reeves, Farrell said, "It's extraordinary. Matt is damn brilliant, and he cares deeply about the stories he tells. The text is dense, incredibly smart, deep, and detailed. I think I'm saying too much, but he is going to make an outstanding movie." Farrell had the chance to read the script before filming began. In one podcast, he said he had many thoughts and ideas, which he shared with Reeves. In the actor's opinion, it is a true masterpiece of modern cinema within its genre. Farrell believes the material is brilliantly written, and that Robert Pattinson's main character will go through a very exciting journey. The Batman 2 is scheduled to premiere on October 1st, 2027. As a reminder, Sebastian Stan has joined the cast and has already hinted at many roles in the upcoming sequel. That's all for now. Write in the comments which news surprised you the most. The adult rating for Nolan's The Odyssey, the box office drop of The Mandalorian and Grogu, the return of Scary Movie, or the new details about the Batman 2. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next episode.